In the beginning, there was no sun, no moon, and no stars. There was only a vast, silent void and beings of pure light. Welcome back to Mythic Mundi, where we explore the legends that shape our world. When we think of the creation of humanity, many of us instantly picture the Garden of Eden, or perhaps the scientific evolution from primates. But in the ancient cosmologies of Southeast Asia, specifically within Thai folklore and Buddhist mythology, there exists a story far more strange and beautiful. It is a story not of clay molded by a creator, but of celestial beings who fell from grace, not because of a forbidden fruit, but because of the earth itself. This is the legend of the Brahmas, the Savory Earth, and the birth of mankind. Today, we are taking a deep journey into the past to answer a fundamental question: how did gods become humans? Sit back, relax, and let us open the book of Genesis, Thai style. To understand the origin of humanity, according to this ancient lore, we must first erase the world as we know it. Forget the mountains, the oceans, and the cities. We must go back to a time after the previous universe had been destroyed. In traditional Thai cosmology, influenced heavily by the Agana Sutta, the universe operates in vast cycles of destruction and rebirth. At the end of the last eon, the world was consumed, leaving nothing but a great, dark void. However, life did not end. It simply existed on a higher plane. High above the destruction, in the realm of the Abhassara Brahmas, lived beings of immense purity. These were not humans, nor were they gods in the Western sense. They were celestial entities, beings of pure energy and mind. Imagine, if you will, a state of existence with no physical suffering. These Brahmas did not possess heavy, solid bodies like yours or mine. They were mind-made. They possessed a radiant luminosity, glowing with their own inner light. They did not need to walk, for they floated gracefully through the ether. They did not need food, for they fed on piti, or rapture, a state of spiritual joy. For an unfathomable amount of time, they lived in this state of bliss. There was no male, no female. There was no day, no night. There was just the golden radiance of their own existence, illuminating the darkness of the void. But, as with all things in the cycle of existence, change began to stir. Slowly over eons, the waters of the destroyed world below began to settle. A new earth started to form. It was not rocky, rugged terrain we see today. It was smooth, pristine, and floated atop the primordial waters. Thai legends describe this new earth as Nguan Din. The texts describe it beautifully. It was said to possess a color like pure butter or fine ghee, and it was as sweet as pure wild honey. It was the very essence of the earth, concentrated and fragrant. A savory crust formed over the waters, emitting an aroma that wafted up through the cosmos, reaching even the high heavens where the luminous Brahmas floated. This scent was not merely a smell. It was a temptation. It was the first sensory input in 1 billion years. And it would spell the end of their perfection. The tragedy of the fall begins with a single moment of curiosity. The Abhassara Brahmas, gliding through the cosmos, looked down upon this new formation. They saw the Nguan Din, the Savory Earth, glistening below. One of these beings, driven by a fickleness of nature, descended closer. It hovered over the creamy, honey-colored crust. The smell was intoxicating. For a being that had only ever known the joy of the mind, this physical aroma was a new, overwhelming sensation. Driven by curiosity, the being dipped a finger into the savory earth and brought it to its lips. The flavor was unlike anything it had ever known. It was rich, sweet, and deeply satisfying. In that instant, a dormant seed was watered: craving. In Buddhist philosophy, craving, or tanha, is the root of attachment. The moment the Brahma tasted the earth, the feeling of spiritual rapture vanished, replaced by a physical hunger. The being ate more, breaking off chunks of the sweet soil, delighting in the sensation. Seeing this, the other Brahmas descended. They saw their companion feasting and were overcome by the same curiosity. One by one, they dipped their fingers into the earth. One by one, they tasted the Nguan Din. And one by one, they fell victim to desire. As they feasted, a profound transformation took place. This is the crucial turning point of the legend. As they consumed the gross, heavy matter of the earth, their bodies began to change. The heaviness of the food weighed down their spirits. Their ethereal, mind-made bodies became solid. Muscles, bones, and skin formed. They lost their ability to fly. They were no longer creatures of the air. They were now bound to the ground by gravity. But the most heartbreaking loss was their light. Recall that these beings once glowed with their own inner radiance. But as their minds became clouded with greed and their bodies became coarse with matter, that inner light was extinguished. The universe was plunged into total darkness. The Brahmas, now grounded and dark, felt fear for the first time. Legend says that in their terror, they cried out, and in response to the collective karma of these new beings, the cosmos responded. The sun appeared to banish the terror of the day, and the moon and stars appeared to illuminate the night. Thus, the cycles of time, days, months, and years were born, not as a gift, but as a necessity for beings who had lost their own light. The gods had finished their feast, but the bill was about to come due. They were no longer Brahmas. They were the first ancestors of humanity. We now enter the final phase of this transformation, the birth of the human condition. The beings continued to eat the savory earth for a long time. However, the food began to affect them differently based on how much they consumed and their internal state of mind. Some beings became beautiful, while others became coarse and ugly. This introduced the very first social division: vanity and pride. The beautiful ones looked down upon the ugly ones. They became arrogant. Because of this arrogance and the corruption of their minds, the sweet Nguan Din disappeared. It vanished, leaving the beings hungry and desperate. In its place, different types of food appeared: mushroom-like fungi, and eventually creeping vines. But as the beings grew more arrogant and greedy, even these food sources vanished one by one. Finally, rice appeared, but this was not the rice we know today. It was a perfect grain, without husk or powder, clean and fragrant. As they ate this coarser food, their bodies underwent the final physical change. Differentiation occurred. Some developed male characteristics, and others developed female characteristics. This was the origin of gender. In their previous existence as Brahmas, they were genderless, beings of pure energy. Now, trapped in biological forms, they looked at each other with new eyes. The male gazed at the female, and the female gazed at the male. Prolonged observation gave rise to passion. The burning fire of lust, absent for eons, ignited in their hearts. This led to physical intimacy. In this ancient lore, this act was initially seen as something shocking. The beings who did not indulge in these passions threw dust and ashes at those who did, crying out, "Perish, perish! How can a being do such things to another?" This is a fascinating cultural echo. The throwing of dust is said to be the origin of why in some traditional customs people throw dust or confetti at weddings, though the meaning has reversed from shame to celebration over thousands of years. To hide their intimacy from the prying eyes of others, the beings built dwellings. This was the invention of the house. Once they had houses, laziness set in. Initially, they would gather rice for a single meal. But soon, someone thought, why gather every day? I shall gather enough for 2 days, then 4 days, then a week. Hoarding began, and with hoarding came the concept of mine and yours. When people began to store food, the rice changed. Husks and powder enveloped the grain. It stopped growing back instantly. Scarcity became a reality. One person stole rice from another's plot. Lying began. Punishment began. The peaceful anarchy of the celestial beings collapsed into the chaos of human society. Realizing they could not live in chaos, they gathered together and decided to elect a leader. Someone wise, capable, and just to maintain order, judge disputes, and allocate resources. They called this leader Mahasamata, meaning the great elect. This, according to the legend, was the first king and the beginning of government and administration. And so, the transformation was complete. From radiant, flying, self-luminous beings of the cosmos, we had become grounded, gendered, mortal humans, struggling with scarcity, driven by desire, but also capable of building civilization. It is a story that reminds us that our physical existence is a result of our desires. We are made of the earth because we consumed the earth.
The story of the Brahmas eating the savory earth is more than just a myth. It is a mirror. It reflects the Buddhist understanding of impermanence and the idea that our current state is shaped by our actions and our cravings. It tells us that we all carry a spark of that celestial light within us, hidden beneath the layers of the material world. From the sweet fragrance of the Nguan Din to the rise of the first king, the journey of humanity is a fascinating descent from the heavens to the hard ground we walk on today. What do you think of this origin story? How does it compare to the creation myths you grew up with? Do you prefer the idea of evolving from the earth or falling from the stars? We want to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below telling us which mythology or legend you want us to explore next. Your suggestions drive this channel. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Thai mythology, please smash that like button and make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell turned on so you never miss a journey into the unknown. Thank you for watching Mythic Mundi. Until next time, keep looking up and remember your history.